Need to let you guys in on a secret. I've been talking to Joe Beimel this past season, now in the off season. The guy's absolutely amazing. 45 years old, still wanting to play, still hungry, working hard every day. I'm going to show you a quick video of him in 2021 pitching, and I got that little box highlighted underneath the base legend there. And you can see 91 miles an hour, and that's going to be kind of unique to what I'm about to share with you next. So Joe sent me a video recently of him doing his first bullpen, which I thought's amazing. And he's really looking to find, a place to play in 2023. He's really committed to it, which is amazing. And his training is unbelievable. But you can see he's got a long run, 2001 to 2015. He was in the big leagues. Then he took a 6-year hiatus, started using the arm care device and the platform, and ended up getting signed to a minor league deal with the Padres as an emergency pitcher that may be used at the big league level with all the injuries they had. So, he's got a real sustainable arm. But, you check this out. He has not been able to have an average velocity over 90 for his entire major league career. Okay. So what's amazing is when he sends me this video from his performance center, Beimel Elite Athletics, he's also a coach, which makes him completely unbelievable to be both a major league talent and a great coach. He's hitting in this bullpen 91.4 miles per hour. Now, what's amazing is that in bullpens, generally the velocity is about 6 miles an hour down from what typically the average velos are in games. Okay. And probably 7 or 8 miles an hour away from peaks. So this is 3 weeks of throwing, and he's now back on the mound throwing to no batter, to a catcher in his facility with the kids around. And I'm just amazed. So he had asked me, how can you get over the hump? And in a few areas in his training, one of the things that I wanted to see him improve upon was long lever strength. And we had a lot of conversations about that. And what you can see on the left side, this is his strength testing numbers. And when you look at his total strength, which is the first number, it's at 240 pounds. That means combining all the muscle group strength. He has 240 pounds of force producing out of that arm. And if you look at percent body weight, he's got 100% total strength relative to his body weight. So that's amazing. That's a super strong arm. And again, remember, he's 45 years old. So gaining such significant strength is pretty impressive. He works so hard. So how do you do it? I'm going to give you some advice that I gave him. So the first thing I wanted to tell him is that you need to do more long lever expansion training. Okay. And I'm going to give you some examples here. These three are really helpful. And expansion training means I'm putting the weight away from the body. And that means that I have to co-contract both the anterior and posterior parts of my core, because the bar is going to try to take me down. And those muscles have to be very strong to go against gravity. And the other thing too is that when we're taking weight away, especially when we're pressing, most athletes, high-level athletes, can only do 40% of their body weight in a press, okay, when they're standing. And that's been shown through cables. It's a whole different dimension when you have the freedom of the weight in space while you're pressing, because now you got to recruit, your rotator cuff more, your deltoids more, to keep the bar elevated from falling down. Okay, so that's really important. Now, the other one that I have here, that's called the snatch cast. That's basically, we're taking weight away from us all the way up. So that's going to also increase the recruitment needs, because you're now in long lever. You're putting more of the mass away from the centers of rotation. There's a little bit of biomechanics there. But that's so interesting when an athlete can handle this. And this is advanced training. The other thing is I knocked out both legs. I put one leg in, so that means that the glute has to recruit so much more in deceleration of the upper body loading. Okay. And that has more of a biomechanical relevance to training. So that's really important as a concept. And the last exercise is really, you want to get some overhead mobility. And some athletes are really restricted doing overhead squats. I don't think in baseball you need to do an overhead squat to be a great pitcher or a great player. I know tons that can't even handle a dowel. But if you put them in rear elevated positions and you get them overhead with a barbell, not only can they have better patterns of loading over the center axis of the hip, it's much easier for them to get some range of motion and get some upward mobility and recruitment of the shoulder blades. And that's going to all lead to scaption strength, X cell and D cell strength, that's going to end up, putting more spin on the ball because you can hold your arm position. You have more strength out there to create friction. So just a couple tips that I gave Joe. Maybe you'll like some of these. Definitely, you should be coaching these under supervision. Athletes who are new to this or parents that might be seeing this, do not institute this without your athletes being coached properly. There's a high degree of technique here. And I'm excited for this off season. You got a boogie, get your arm as strong as possible, and get ready for 2023. We're going to show you some really cool new exercises. All right. Have a good evening.